Okay guys, here we go again. This is Alaska Airlines is the smaller jet spray there. And Delta, they're tag teaming it today. Delta is in front of Alaska. So they're spraying all day today, but this is just one instance. I'll just make a quick note on the inside temperature and humidity. Now this was a couple minutes ago, around 12:08 p.m. and it's 12:21 now. So you see a little bit of the difference on how they spread out. So that's Alaska, the thin one, and Delta is the big one, just because it's been there longer, so it's had time to dissipate. So this is Delta right here, live, and then you see, gonna show, hang on, Alaska right above it. So there's Delta. That's the one that left the first dump from Seattle. They always come from Seattle or Los Angeles, the ones that dump. It's a Boeing 737, and there's the registration in 3766, of course. And thank you, United States. Flying at 37,000 feet. And here's Alaska, the one right behind Delta. There they are, coming from Los Angeles, going down to Mazatlan. And again, a 737 and N315AS. Thank you again, America. Flying at 35,000 feet. They're always around about 2,000 feet difference. So this guy, he flies first. This is the Delta. They fly first at 37,000. So there they are. And then by the time Alaska runs around, who's flying at 35,000 feet, maybe the aerosols have more time to mix. So this is just a couple minutes later, and do you see how they're mixing together? Yep. And they do this all along the coast and wherever they're flying. So we had a beautiful day, and you can also see scalar waves right there beside them. Here comes another one. Let's see who this is. So do you see how they're always they always fly in twos or threes. They fly right over the same track, and now it gets mixed, and you'll see the wind will pick up, the breeze will pick up, and you'll see more solar dimming. So today it started out a beautiful, really blue sky, and we will start seeing it get more and more cloudy. So let's go see who this is right here, who's on top of the Alaska Airlines spray, and then it's going to join soon with the Delta spray. So this is Air Canada coming in, and I noticed that they sprayed earlier today as well. So they're going in on it as well. So there's actually two Air Canadas. So we'll see if we see another spray coming behind that first one I just showed. So they're coming from Vancouver, going down to Puerto Vallarta and Tintin. So there's your AI. So that's basically 6 hours of dumping toxins on people, on the world. And they're flying at 35,000 feet. It's also a Boeing 737 MAX 8. And there's a registration. So that's both Air Canada, following Alaska Airlines, that came out of Los Angeles, heading down to San Jose del Cabo. They're just going to spray around 3 hours. And again, there's their registration, N317AS. And Alaska Airlines sprayed earlier too. So maybe that was Alaska Airlines spray, because Alaska's following, and usually they tag team. There's usually two of the same planes flying back to back. And look how those two caught up to each other. See how they catch up? And you see how they all mix together? Now there's a plane that's just doing a contrail. That's not a poisoning. You see the difference? Anyhow, they're all working together. And pretty soon, later today, the sky will be totally gray, and the sun will be dimmed out. So it's also weather modification. And here comes another one. So that again is Alaska Airlines, and WestJet is in on it too. And they're also Canadian. So they're tag teaming it. Again in a Boeing 737 MAX 8. Flying at 33,000. So these guys have time for their spray to start dropping, and they're gonna come just right underneath it, so it'll all end up together. Just like this patent talks about. There's your patent. Scrolling down a bit, it says, in one aspect, a system for providing material to the atmosphere includes an elongate conduit structure extending into the atmosphere and being held aloft by lifting forces and buoyant forces generated by at least one buoyant lifting body coupled to the high altitude conduit. The system also includes an introducer configured to provide a first material into the interior of the conduit. Number 350 says, may be cross-braced form of lightweight materials including but not limited to metals and metal alloys, composites, and plastics. I'll leave you the link for this. Also talks about nanomaterials. In another embodiment, it may be desirable to use anthropogenic aerosols to cause reflexivity changes. Anthropogenic hazards or hazards caused by human inaction or action. That's what they're doing to us. You want to speak up and say something now? Or are you going to wait till it's too late? And they're blaming you guys for doing it. So here's just a little bit of news here regarding Alaska Airlines. This article came out today, December 3rd. It says Alaska Air to buy Hawaiian Airlines for 1.9. There's our 19 number billion. So $1.9 billion. CNN, the states Alaska Air, ALK, on Sunday announced it will buy rival Hawaiian Airlines, HA, for $1.9 billion. The acquisition was the accumulation of several months of negotiations, according to Alaska Airlines CEO Ben Minikuchi. So just remember what happened to Hawaii a couple months ago, right? October 8th, 8/8. Remember Maui? So Ben Minikuchi, and I'll look at his name really quick later. It says, this is a fantastic deal that he means that brings two airlines that have amazing loyalties. That's just weird. Amazing loyalties in our regions together. So Minikuchi. And is it interesting that Alaska hooked up with Disneyland? There's your Minnie. And this is funny, I found a sweatshirt that says the word coochie on it, and I just find that a little interesting. Looking a little bit deeper into this name, Minikuchi, this is a word that I came up with, the NC mice incubi. And guess what incubi is? Well, when you look at the word mice, what do you think of? But that must just be a coincidence. And the word incubi is a male demon believed to have sexual intercourse with sleeping women, a cause of distress or anxiety. And archaic is a nightmare, or it's a nightmare induced by a demon. And here's some interesting visuals, but I wanted to show you one more thing. Just looking into this word and seeing what I saw in this patent that you should probably look at real quickly. And how part of this patent that they mention, they basically said that it's just a summary of spraying and putting all this stuff in the air. That's basically a toxin. And it says, and is not intended to be in any way limiting. That means the sky's the limit. As they talk about all this stuff that they are throwing into the sky. And that anything can be employed here, hardware, software, and firmware. And they also talk about lumens and the underground. But incubus is the singular of incubi, which we're going to look at. And dealing with demons and deformed humans, said to have been fathered by an incubus, and resulting in the deterioration of health, an impaired mental state, or even death. And this talks about Merlin too. Anyhow, this states one scientific explanation for the incubus concept could fall under the scope of sleep paralysis, as well as hypnagogia. I don't know what that is. So hypnagogia is a transition between wakefulness and sleep. It's common to experience visual, audio, or other types of hallucinations. This is typical examples include a feeling of being crushed or suffocated, electric tingles, or vibrations. Anyone feeling those lately? Anyhow, I think the anagram for Ben Minicucci is just sort of interesting to me. So this article just goes down there and basically they mention Peter, but then they just basically talk about how the deal was made out of respect for nearly 100-year legacy of the two airlines and the communities they served, right? It's all for your safety and your health and your well-being. Both states are uniquely reliant upon air travel, Alaska Airlines said in a news release Sunday. The airline currently serves 19 cities, there's 19 again, many which are not connected by roads. And that's an interesting cloud in the background. Does anyone see like a little bit of a kind of a dragon head here? Here's its mouth and its eyes and its nose and its neck. It's kind of a weird cloud, I think. But just a quick look at that NC on mice incubi is probably incubi. There's a numerology for NC, and isn't that interesting? The 102, flip that around, there's your 201, event 201, and 17, when you spell out the word 17, it's NWO, as in New World Order. NC also equals D MAGA, as in D-Day. Remember General Perna's MAGA, the D-Day, the beginning of the end for the Operation Warp Speed, and MAGA, what we're doing now, Make America Great Again. And that's also Q. And this says, in Alaska Airlines, we are joining an airline that has long served Hawaii and has a complementary network and a shared culture of service. With the additional scale and resources that this transaction with Alaska Airlines brings, we will be able to accelerate investments in our guest experience and technology while maintaining the Hawaiian Airlines brand. And Minicucci, who will become the CEO of both airlines, heralded the move as pro-consumer. You know, the eating kind of words that we have with everything that's going on right now? Here are just a few that come to mind. Coronavirus is carnivorous. Stakeholder is stakeholder. Put an S on the end of that. Metaverse is serve meat. Anyhow, the airlines are up to no good, and they continue spraying, and until we speak out and say something, they're going to keep doing it, you guys. So if I were you, I'd get on the phone or tweet these guys and let them know that what they're doing isn't going to be tolerated. All right, that's enough for today. Bye, guys.